welcome to my second video of historical minis, and this time it's a look at the British defenders at Rorke's Drift. There was approximately 150 personnel stationed at Rorke's Drift on the 22nd of January 1879. Most of these were 2nd Battalion, 24th Regiment of Foot. They were effectively the reserves left behind to guard the stores of munitions and supplies while the main central column attacked Zululand under the command of Lord Chelmsford. The company left behind at Rorke's Drift was under the command of Lieutenant Gonville Bromhead, although in 99% of cases this is pronounced Bromhead. Probably as a result of the Zulu film. There was also a small unit of Royal Engineers led by Lieutenant John Chard, who were there to build a bridge to aid the invasion of Zululand. The soldiers in Africa in 1879 wore the traditional Victorian British Army uniform of a red coat with a white pith helmet and white cross belts. Many soldiers on active service actually dyed their pith helmets with tea or coffee or mud to avoid making an easier target of themselves. Each soldier carried a Martini Henry rifle, which was a breech loader, and fired a .45 boxer round. These created quite an intense plume of white smoke when firing. I'm now going to go on to talk a bit about the individual characters who played key roles in the defence of Rorke's Drift. So the first of these is Lieutenant John Chard, who was the officer in command on the day of the battle. As you can see here, he was wearing the uniform of the Royal Engineers. Most of my research on Chard pointed to the fact that he was actually quite a lazy and underwhelming officer until his actions on the day of the battle. I think a lot of senior officers were actually quite jealous when he had his moment in the spotlight after Rorke's Drift, obviously winning the VC. Second in command on the day was Lieutenant Gunny Bromhead, and similar to Chard, his military career up to the day of the battle was actually very underwhelming, and again he received a lot of criticism from senior officers who I think were maybe jealous. Bromhead obviously also got the VC, made famous in the Zulu movie by Michael Caine. Watching the film recently was actually the first time that I realised he actually wears an incredible amount of eyeliner. Next up is Acting Assistant Commissary James Dalton, who also won the VC, and it was actually down to him that the position was held and defended the way it was. The barricades were his idea, and Dalton was also awarded the Victoria Cross. This is Private Alfred Henry Hook, who got his VC for particularly courageous action in and around the hospital. And he's shown here, obviously half-dressed with no boots or socks on. There are a few other characters, for example Reverend George Smith. He was the Reverend who was actually there on the day, and he helped hand out ammunition. The other character on the left is depicting the cook. His inclusion is closer to the film version. I've also included some casualty markers, including this stretcher bearer. I actually adapted this model to have an assegai sticking out of the guy's leg. The next video I have planned is a battle report for Rorke's Drift. Obviously this will be COVID dependent, as I'm waiting for my dad to come up and film it with him.